Good morning, everybody. It's July 6th, 2019. Out here giving the garden a little water. Watering is also a good time to pull out any weeds that are starting to come up. Like I said in my last video, I do the no dig or no till, so there's very little weeds. My eggplant seems like it's doing a lot better. I guess as the weather's getting warmer, the pest pressure is a little bit less. There's a couple of holes in some leaves, but most of the leaves are okay. Got some fruit starting on this guy. Got my Cubanelle peppers here. Got a nice one there. Maybe let it get a little bigger and then pick it off. The plants are kind of small. Probably should just pick the fruit off now, let the plant get bigger. Also have a shishito, Japanese pepper here. And maybe another one over there. Another eggplant. Some onions that I planted. They're starting to get bigger. It took a long time. I don't know. Hopefully I'll get some bulbs. But even if I get small bulbs or, small spring type onions, I guess that's good. Another eggplant here. This is where I had the lettuce that I pulled out. I still got a couple of romaines that I'm going to see how they work going to heads. There's a couple of, I guess, I don't know if that's yellow beets or Swiss chard. I think it was Swiss chard. Those are the yellow beets there. Haven't been doing too good. Kale is doing pretty good. There's still some pest pressure on it. You can see that all the way eaten down to a stem. Somebody said that it might be birds, because the birds eat the leaves but not the stems. But I did have those caterpillars on there, just cabbage loopers. But as you can see in this compost, there's not much weeds at all. So there's a little tiny weed there. I mean, you could kind of just take it out. It doesn't really root much. So this is a great way to garden if you're not already doing it. Don't turn that soil over when you're done. Just add some nice fresh compost and keep layering it every year. And you get a nice weed-free garden. Little tiny weeds. You could probably just, if you want to use a hoe, you could probably just use a hoe and dig them out. They come right out of the ground, roots and all. So I just do this. Kind of therapeutic too. So some more I guess some more shishitos that I planted. I ordered some okra seeds. Again, it's July, the beginning of July. Hopefully I can get them. I think they're coming Monday. Today is Saturday, so hopefully 2 more days I'll have the okra seeds and plant them. I'll try to plant them in this bed. Kale is over here. I may thin some of this out because it's not really growing very well. This is my honeydew that I'm going to try to build. Actually, I ordered a small trellis that I'm going to try to put over here and train these guys up. They're starting to vine out pretty nice. No cantaloupes yet. Very small. And over in the second bed, we got the... I thought these were shishitos also, but man, they look a little like shishitos, but different. So I bought a couple of different varieties. Tomato plants are doing great. Can't wait to get some color on them. But look at this vine. I mean, this guy, let's see. See if we can see how tall it is. I don't know if you can see me, but I'm 5'10", and so is the plant. Anyway, they're all looking pretty good. I did have one little fatality. Actually, this one here, the string broke. I used this jute, and it's probably not a good idea when the fruits on here get heavy and the plant gets real tall. I think I'm gonna have a problem. So hopefully, I'll get some more string, and maybe I could double up the string and see what happens. Some more eggplants over here. Got a few different varieties. I got the long Japanese Ichiban and the small round Indian type eggplants. Look at all of those tomatoes. Beautiful. This is a zucchini that I transplanted into the bed. Might not be a good idea because it's coming all out of the bed, and don't see any zucchini on it yet. Although wait, there is one there. Oh, this is a different type of zucchini. I did buy a couple of different varieties, but like I said in my last video, when I planted the seeds, I had everything labeled. But since I planted into the beds, kind of moved things around and lost the labels. There's another edamame soybean plant. A couple of volunteer tomatoes. These look like plum tomatoes. Some more onions. I think this is a broccoli that I had from the microgreens planted in here. That's the shiso. Some more tomatoes. I think this don't know. I bought 3 different types of tomatoes. Yeah, these are probably the plum, and these are probably the heirloom Moscovich tomatoes. Those look like plum. It's going to be surprised at harvest time, that's for sure. My peas and my favas are done. I ripped them out the other day. I don't know if they got a disease or not. They turned, black. The leaves turned black. I got a few fava beans, not many. I think I had like 6 plants, and we got maybe like 5 or 6 fava beans. So that wasn't too successful. I'll try again next year. The peas, I think they're probably done for the season. Still have some more here. Snow peas and regular Lincoln peas. Oh, there's a nice snow pea. Look at this. That's what's called a mammoth snow pea. Very sweet. I love eating right out of the garden. I don't think my family would do that. I have to wash everything. They're afraid of bugs. Pole beans are doing nice. Got a few pole beans on here. Excuse me for chewing. The celery is growing. I'm not too sure. I never grew celery. I think they say you're supposed to pull dirt up over it and blanch it. Otherwise they get white. But I'm just going to let them grow naturally and see what happens. There's a pole bean that got lost. Get back up there. And the cucumbers are doing nicely. Oops. I dropped my bean. Alright, well. Cucumbers are starting to do nice. I've got a few cucumbers on there already. See right there. Some more coming up over here, and there's a little one there. I think these might be the pickling ones. They're really, really tiny. The leaves are very small too. At our other house, we planted cucumbers. I used to buy them at Home Depot, so they were probably sprayed with, steroids. They grew really big. So we're doing everything organic and natural. No pesticides, no Miracle-Gro, just compost. Anyway, carrots. I'm not going to pull any out today, but I'm going to let them go another few weeks. Hopefully we get some carrots. So that's it for the vegetable garden. Come over here to the flowers. Pumpkins are doing nice. They're starting to train out. I'll try to get them to go down this path. Don't know if there's any pumpkins growing on there yet, but probably not. My zucchini over here has got a nice squash on it now. My first one. I get in focus. There it is. Hopefully we can harvest this guy soon. This weed looks like weed. Kind of wish it was, but it's not. Anyway, that's the oregano started from seed, so that's growing real nice. Tomatoes in the containers are doing great. We got some tomatoes on these guys. Another tomato plant here. 2 more over here. With the dill, that's really bolting, but I'm going to let it go to seed and see if we can get dill growing all over this bed down here. Eggplant, which I harvested this morning. There's another little guy growing. It's kind of a scrawny plant, but it's producing fruit. A couple of more volunteers. Some Swiss chard. The borage is like growing like crazy. It gets so big that it falls over. Sunflowers are pretty much done. As you can see, chipmunks have been eating the seeds. So I'll probably have a lot of volunteer sunflowers and barrage coming up next year. Let me take you into the back corner. Compost piles over there. Oh, I pulled out a few wild raspberry plants from nearby where I work. So I planted those here this morning, and I put a couple of more back over there that actually have fruit on them. So I'm gonna prune those back, and maybe next year we'll get some nice wild raspberries. These are the edamame that are in the pot. As you can see, a lot of edamame on this guy. Usually this stuff you harvest at once. You let it grow, pull it out of the ground, and harvest all the pods at the same time. Different than peas, not picking them, you know, as they grow. A couple of kales I stuck in the pot here. See what happens with that. This is about the only lettuce that I get to eat because it seems like the slugs don't climb up this pot. But I got a variety of lettuces in here. Strawberries, I picked 2 this morning. Not the best strawberry, but my first time trying strawberries. I put them in hanging pots, as you can see. And then over here, we have the 4x4 bed, raised bed. Here's the other eggplant. So this one, I'm probably going to harvest tomorrow. I want to take them when they're small. There's very little seeds in them. We like them better. That's another honeydew I planted in the corner. There's my mat of microgreen peas that I'm letting grow as an experiment to see how tall they get and if they get pods, and we can take some seeds from that. The basil back there. A couple of more volunteer tomatoes. What's this? I think this might be a kabocha. Some more kale. I mean, actually broccoli. Right over here, broccoli. And a couple of peas that got probably an animal dropped the seeds over there. And I have another, I think that's either a cantaloupe or a kabocha. And an eggplant. So this bed's doing pretty nice. And I guess that's it for today. So it's very hot out here. I came outside, worked for about 10 minutes, and I'm soaked. So everybody have a nice weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed the 4th, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.